Hello, welcome to Nana's Journey. I'm Deanna, and today we are going to continue with Fat Quarter Shop's Moonbeams Charity Quilt Along. This is block 4, and we're going to make 2 of these blocks and 2 of these blocks. Keep in mind that if you are using her triangle on a roll or her flying geese paper, those cutting instructions are not what's listed on here. These cutting instructions are for people not using these, but there is a symbol next to those cutting instructions there for that one. Instead of doing the 4 6-inch squares, you would follow the instructions for this down here, the 3-inch square. And for the 3-inch square, we needed some white and pink for our half square triangles. So I've got this white and pink. And then I've got blue and pink. And then these half square triangles will be turned into quarter square triangles. And then we've got some 5-inch half square triangles in the blue and pink. So just be aware of the cutting instructions. The cutting instructions are on the cover of the package. And for one square that has 2 flying geese, you will need one 3.5 by 4.5 quarter rectangle and 2 3/4 squares cut once on the diagonal. Now I had a 4.5-inch strip, so I just cut 4.25-inch squares and left it at that, and that'll still work. And then I've got all my triangles that I need, and then these are not being used foundation paper piecing. I am going to do the 2 at a time half square triangles instead of doing single ones. So I have got, I think this is a 4.5-inch 4.5-inch squares, and I've got them right sides together already. And I took the 1/2-inch ruler and laid it from corner to corner, and I drew a line on each side, and that will be my sew line. And after we sew on it, we will cut in between, press it open, and we will have 2 half square triangles. So I've got the white and pink and the blue and pink. So those are all the pieces we need, and so let's get over to the sewing machine. Okay, we're going to start with the half square triangles, and then I will shorten my stitch after this so we can do the paper piecing. So I'm just going to chain stitch these. Okay, I've got these pressed open, and I've got these marked just like I did the half square triangles. We will sew on the lines. You want to match up the pinks on the opposite side, nest that. Okay, now we'll cut those apart, press them open, trim them, and I'll be right back. Okay, now we've got these pressed, we need to trim them. And you're just going to take your diagonal line, your 45-degree line, and put it on the seam. I happen to have a line going both directions. And you're going to trim it to 3.5 inches. Okay, and I'll get the rest of those trimmed and I'll be right back. Okay, this is what our hourglass or quarter square triangle unit looks like now that it's been trimmed. Now we're going to take our flying geese paper piecing, and I've got a piece of template plastic. You can use a cardstock, bookmark, cardboard, whatever, just so that you can, you know, it's thin but stiff, and you can get it on those lines, fold that paper, and make a crease. And you're going to do it to all 4 triangles. Then you're going to take the wrong side of the fabric and put it against the wrong side of the paper, and you're going to make sure the fabric meets the dotted line that's around the paper. I'm just going to hold that up to the window for a second. Put that in there and pin it for a moment. Then you're going to take and you're going to fold down number 2. I need my add a quarter ruler. There we go. This has a ledge on this lip here that butts right up against the fold there. And then you can trim that off and do the same thing to the other side. Now you're going to take your triangles and you're going to center them right sides together. Okay, and I'm going to shorten my stitch to 2.0. Well, it went to 195, that's fine. And I'm going to sew from the dotted line to the dotted line. Now I'm going to iron those open. Get my other 2 triangles and my cutting table. I need to pull this away from the stitching so that I can fold that end over. Oops. Do the same thing you did last time. Fold it over, add the ruler, and cut. again, we're going to add our triangles. And we're going to sew on the lines, on the solid lines. Okay. Then we're going to iron it open. And then we're going to trim. We're going to trim on the solid lines. Okay, this is turning too much for me. I'm going to get on the table. Okay, now we're going to trim. And you're going to trim on the solid lines. Now we can remove the paper and we will have our flying geese. There we go. Now I'm going to sew the rest of these off camera and then we will be back to finish working on our block. Okay, we've got all those flying geese done, and I have to admit, I think the foundation paper was a lot more work than doing 4 at a time. I much prefer doing 4 at a time, but I bought the paper, so that's what I was going to use. Now we're going to make our stars, and we've got, I think this 3-inch middles. We're going to need 4 of these, and we're going to need 4, these are 1 3/4 inch squares, and then we're just going to put these together. The red goes next to the red. That is 2 squares. There's our star. And now we'll just sew these into rows, and then we will sew our row into block. Then we will press that open and we can nest the seams, pin it together, and sew it. And there we have our star. So let me finish the others and I'll be right back. Okay, we've got our flying geese done. There's 8 of the green one and 2 of the red. And now we're going to work on our triangles on a roll. I've got some 5-inch rolls, 4 of them. That'll give me 10 half square triangles. I hope that's the right amount. And then I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, so 16 half square triangles in the white and pink and the blue and pink. And that is right sides together. You just make your fabric fit the size of the roll that you want to do. And you shorten your stitch length so that it's easier to perforate. And then I can sew. I did mine 1.9. I was going to do 2.0, but you sew on the dotted lines. Okay, once you've got that sewn on the dotted lines, you just need to trim on the solid lines. Now, last video I did this, I forgot to trim these lines, and so I had to trim each square. So if you don't forget to trim the solid line, all of the solid lines, you shouldn't have to trim the squares except for the dog ears. And there is our triangle, or half square triangle, square. So, and that is 3.5 inches. It's easier for me to see on this. Of course, it'd be easier if it was ironed. Okay, those are right on the money. You just need to trim the dog ears. So let me get the rest of that trimmed and I'll be right back. Okay, all the half square triangles are trimmed and the dog ears are cut off. And our next one we're going to put together, we're going to put these two together and these two together with these blues on the outside and this white on the lower left. And we're going to make 8 of these. I'm going to show you one. Okay, so there we go. I've pressed this one to the blue and this one to the white. So now we can nest those. Okay, we've got these pressed. I pressed this one open. I pressed that one to the blue. You could probably press that open as well. Probably should, but I'm not gonna. Okay. Then we will press this, and we will have, we will need to make 8 units of this. After that, we are going to do 8 of these. The white meets the white. And then we will press that open. So let me get the others made and I'll be right back. Okay, now we're going to take our units and start putting our block together. This is going to be the center row, and we're just going to put this. You want to make sure this is right sides together. Okay, and we will press that towards the center. Then we will take 2 of these, put them in the middle, and attach them to 2 of these like this so that the blue is in the corner. Okay, now we'll get those pressed. Okay, now we're going to take that middle strip that we had done, put that in the middle. Okay, and there we have our big star, and we need to make 2 of these. Now we're going to make our top row for our other block, and that takes, I just realized I used the wrong fabric for this. It should be the white fabric, but it'll turn out the same. So that will go like this. Okay, and I am going to press these towards this. So we're going to have our top and our bottom. Our red one goes in the middle, and then 2 of these go here like this, and this makes the friendship star. And these will get pressed to the outside, so everything gets pressed towards the friendship star. And now we put the rows together, nest the seams. Okay, let me get that pressed and we will see the blocks. Okay, there's our blocks all finished. We've got the one with the sawtooth stars inside a friendship star, and this block. So, a lot of pieces, but a lot of fun. It's easy to do. And remember that Fat Quarter Shop puts out a video with the free pattern the first Friday of every month, so you can download that, and I will put my video out on the first Friday of every month as well. So I want to thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next time on Nana's Journey.